This was an exciting podcast today.
I want to listen to it over and over. I thoroughly enjoyed everything she had to say.
There was so much information. We're going to have to listen to it at least a couple times just to soak it all in, and then we can share it with everyone else.
Well, you know it must be pretty good if your producer is texting you on the back end saying, "This is awesome."
At this time, I'm going to ask you to fasten your seatbelts.
When the going gets rough, you know how the saying goes. Sometimes things happen. Life happens, and it's not always our fault. In this podcast, we'll feature real-life testimonials from people like you, from good times to bad, funny memories and hard lessons learned. Everyone has a story, and everyone has been there. From business owners to parents to young adults, the Hive Five aims to tell stories of overcoming the struggles of adulting while celebrating the little victories of life. In each podcast, our guests will give insight to 5 key takeaways from someone who's been there and done that, leaving you better than when you started.
Thanks for listening today. My name is Kagan with BriteBee.
And this is Catherine with BriteBee.
And we are so excited today on the High Five podcast to have Jazmine Farmer. Jazmine Farmer was a stay-at-home mom. Maybe is now, but really she's turned founder and owner of Calamity Jane's Apparel based in Oklahoma City. We're really excited to have you, Jazmine.
Yes, y'all. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, Jazmine, tell us a little bit. I probably butchered that intro, but stay-at-home mom, owner, founder, both. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So very unintentional business where I think that a lot of people have that unintentional business. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I started Calamity Jane's about 5 years ago when the Moore tornado came through in 2013. I just wanted to do something to give back to the community. And I thought a t-shirt was an easy way to do that. And so I just got with a local graphic artist company and created a t-shirt. We ended up selling thousands of that t-shirt. And then I had people start approaching me, and stores started approaching me about like producing a line of state pride themed apparel. And here we are 5 years later.
Wow. So starting you said something and I said, no, that's not true. You said starting a online or just a t-shirt company in general was easy. There is no way that was easy, because I will tell you, I'm going to go out there and say, I tried that and I failed miserably.
Right. No,
and I'm not talking about it anymore. So you tell me.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. But, and believe me when I say like it was unintentional, because I think, so when I started it originally, I was looking for an outlet of something like creativity or something. And so I wanted to do this t-shirt thinking, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of my time. This is going to make me feel good. And, it was honestly just a huge blessing with what it turned into. And, it started out of my house, out of my garage. My husband was a huge cheerleader and supporter. He thought initially, he was like, yeah, this is great. If this is something you want to do with your time, do it. And then as it progressed and progressed and progressed, it got to the point where like, wow, this is a real business. I've got to like kind of rethink of how I'm going to run all this and still try to juggle this whole mom thing, business owner thing, and what does this look like,
So this started out as one t-shirt that you designed for more. Tell us what it has grown into today.
So it was the one t-shirt that we designed to give back for the tornado relief. And so today, 5 years later, because we just celebrated our 5th birthday in May, our predominant part of our business is wholesaling our brand to stores. And so we sell to close to 1,000 different retailers now across the Southeast United States. So most of our stores are located like in states like Oklahoma, of course, Arkansas, Texas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Georgia, I believe is where most of our stores are at. So it's real crazy. So we have that aspect of it. We are now collegiate licensed with the University of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State University. I'm super proud to say that we're their number one women's t-shirt apparel company. So we beat Nike and Under Armour, things like that. You know, and we have just like we've grown and have an incredible foundation and base of customer support in Oklahoma. So, I mean, when I say it became something beyond my wildest dreams from like the one t-shirt in my garage, it really did. It's been incredible.
It started out as just this dream of serving people. And then you said, okay, well, I can now serve people, but I can also make some money, there's nothing wrong with that. And so there's got to be some struggle in between there, right? I mean, you said you were trying to figure out, I mean, how am I going to do this? Being a mom, being a business owner, you've not really been a business owner before. What were some struggles that you went through to get to this point?
Any business owner, from whatever point of your life cycle in your business you're at, there's always that struggle. You know, whether it's in cycle, beginning, whatever, there's always the ups and downs. And so starting out initially, it was obviously the struggle of, wow, okay, I'm starting a business. I don't really know what I'm doing. So how do I do it all? And again, the juggle of, I was still at home. I was still out of my garage. The struggle of a baby and a young child and being a mom to them and giving them attention. Because, I mean, y'all know, owning your own business or being really established in a business, it is like a child, and you have to nurture it and you have to love it and you have to give it time and attention for it to grow. There was that whole struggle of that. And, you know, I like just thinking about it and thinking back, initially I was like, how do you find that balance? And how do I put down and stop what I'm doing at work? Because it's always there. And to this day, it's always there. And go home to my kids or make sure I say, you know what, I can leave this here and I come back tomorrow, because you always have that pull of, I really need to get this done, but when do you say no? And I think that, I mean, you know, initially, and it's something to this day, how do you learn to balance that? Because I think it's hard when you have a super vested interest in something, you know, whether it's a relationship, a family, a business, whatever it is, it's hard to find that balance.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then, you know, starting off, I had to learn how, because I had a degree in marketing. I was close to a master's degree in international business studies. I had been at home with my babies for 5 years, and I had just been out of that work world. And, you know, and again, I kind of go back at the time, I did need a creative outlet. I didn't realize what I was doing, like signing up for a full-time gig, but I'm proud of what it was and what it's become, for sure.
When did you think you would give up? Did you ever have a point in this last 5 years where you said, okay, I think I'm just going to give up. This is too hard. Was there any time in your life in those last 5 years?
I mean, I think I can honestly say probably on a weekly basis, right? I mean, yeah, I think there's like lots of days and times where I'm beating my head against the wall thinking, oh my gosh, why can't I get this to work this way? Or this is not how I thought it would look like. I think a big struggle for small business and, you know, entrepreneurs and starting out, and especially today in like today's like banking industry and banking world, being able to acquire, you know, a line of credit or a small business loan, it's way hard to be able to do that. And so, you know, having the capital a lot of times because like for us, we have to keep a really huge surplus of inventory in stock for stores to purchase, you know, their volume orders. And so that overhead cost for us is crazy. Going back to the banking and for small business, because I know I'm not the only one who struggles with this, just finding, you know, just that the up and down of your cash flow and just all of it. I think that I hope that there's other people who are also banging their heads against the walls right along with me saying, holy cow, what am I doing? But,
I'm doing it with you. I'm doing it with you right now.
Yeah. But, then I think then something comes along, a blessing, something unexpected, and you're like, okay, I've got this. Or, you go home, and sometimes for me, it's like going out and running or working out, and I can like clear my head. Okay, how do I need to look at this differently, or what can I do differently to approach this, and just trying to figure out a solution, But yeah, there's lots of times I've been like, oh my gosh, I'm done throwing in the towel, but I haven't gotten to the point where I want to pull the trigger quite yet.
Well, Jazmine, I know that our listeners are probably chomping at the bit to hear the 5 key takeaways that you've brought for us. So let's go ahead and dive right into those and talk about those.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so number 1, quit comparing yourself and your business to others. Tell us the inspiration behind that comment.
Yeah, so when I was putting these together, I kind of thought about like the whole lifeline of my business and where I started and like where we're at now. And I feel like especially in the beginning stages, I was like, after it really evolved into a business and I acknowledged that, it was me thinking to myself or asking the question, oh, well, this company's doing this, or this company's doing that, or we should be doing this, or we should be doing that. And so at first, I feel like especially the first real year of my business, I didn't get like a good grasp of who like Calamity James really was, because I compared Calamity James to all these other businesses and companies and whatever. And I didn't find or stay true to, I feel like, just what my customer consistently wanted. And then I just got to the point where I quit looking at, other social media or other websites or whatever. And I just finally just came to the conclusion of, you know what? I don't really care what they're doing. There's plenty of room in the marketplace. Let them do their own thing, and I'm going to do mine where I know I'm consistent, I'm good at it, this is what my customer wants. And when I actually finally came to that conclusion, it really was an aha moment, because I was better able to focus on my actual business and my strengths and really excel at that. It's made a world of difference.
And you have a lot more fun.
You have so much more fun, right? And, and kind of on the mom aspect, the parent side of that, I'll say on this, I compare myself sometimes to other moms, or, I feel bad because I'm doing a business, whatever, and I'm not able to do this or that with my kids. And I had that struggle of, man, that mom, she's got it all together, or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, my 2 kids, they love me and they're proud of me and they love coming to my office and helping and whatever else. And so, I think that we all can do that comparison, and it's just not healthy, right?
Oh, right. No. And I'll say this. You said your kids come into your office. Is that not the best thing? I don't know what is so great about that. I know it can be challenging, but there is something about having your kid there and you working and just having the presence of your kid.
What's so cool about it too is, like, for us, like when we're out and about, oh, look, Mom, there's a Calamity James shirt. Oh, Mom, that's Calamity James.
Branding awareness.
Yeah, and like it really is, and they're so proud. And my kids will go up, oh, my mom made that shirt, people, or they take, it's super sweet. They take pride in what we've done and what we're doing, and they feel a part of it. My husband also owns his own businesses, and they love him and they respect him, but Dad works, right? I think for the mom part, they see that Mom works and works full time. but mom is also homeroom mom. And I coach my little girls' softball team. I coach her basketball team. And I'm at every guitar practice for my son or every baseball game. It's a lot, but they see that mom is still able to juggle the role of a working mom, and I'm still able to juggle the role of mom. Granted, my house isn't perfectly clean, and we eat a ton of Chick-fil-A, but
amen.
You know,
you can't be the best at everything.
Exactly. So so it's a win-win.
Well, as Kagan's oldest son would say when he comes and works with us, he's a wooka.
Yeah, yes, how cute.
So it's like,
yes.
I'm a wooka.
Yes, you are, Betty.
That is so great. So number 2, there's always stuff to do.
I mean, it never ends. The list, it's like an indefinite list, because once you get the 10 tasks complete, there's the next 10, and then the next 10, and then the next 10. It's kind of going back to what I was saying earlier. It's something I still work on, and I still battle, but I think I acknowledge it. I do a better job today than I did 5 years ago, that I can put something down and I tell those in my office, listen, there's always tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it tonight. You know, it's 6 o'clock, go home to your family. It's 5 o'clock, go home to your family. Whatever the case is. I think it's really important for the health of your business, the health of yourself, for all of it, to like establish that rule of it's going to always be there. It's not going to be, you know, for the most part, a make it or break it decision right then and there. But really to remember, put it down. It's okay. It'll be there tomorrow. And don't miss out on those little things with your family and with your kids, because there's been lots of times I've missed out on picking my kids up from carpool. And while that's small and insignificant, I can like think to myself, you know what? I should have gone to carpool this week, because what I did, the XYZ in my office that I did instead of carpool, could have waited until the next day. And those little moments in my car, getting the after school snack, just having the conversation with my kids, those moments can't be replaced. Those are so few and fleeting.
Absolutely. Well, and you know, when there's so much to do, it can sometimes feel like you are playing checklists, like, oh, I want to mark that off my list and I want to mark that off my list. But we all know that some tasks are more important than others, and some of them are long term. And it just drives me crazy when I have something on my list that I know I'm making progress towards, and I can't mark it off. And so I think that that goes into prioritizing and how important that is. You know, whether you're prioritizing family over business or just business task over a different business task, that is such a crucial, you know, efficiency method. So how do you make sure that you don't neglect the most important items and save the ones that can be saved for later?
I'm not perfect at this, right? But I think that because I am a very much task, you know, check my task list person. I think that at this point, 5 years into it, I am able to acknowledge a little bit more, because even the people who work around me every day have taken note of this. I'm able to acknowledge, you know what, it's not that important. It's gonna be fine, and just really kind of for me, for me, in my point of view, like where I'm like right now today, seeing how fast the summer's blown by, or my kids are getting older, like I always thought it was such baloney when people would say, oh my gosh, time's slipping by so fast, right? Before kids.
Right.
Well, after kids, time flies by. And it really does. And so I think now where I'm at, I can see how fast it is going. My little kids are going through school, and it's crazy. And so I just think I'm able to, it's okay. I do need to do this, but it'll all get done. You know, I just think it's just kind of checks and balances.
Okay, ladies, listen up. I'm interested because point number 3 has to do with us. So
Yeah.
I am interested as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not discriminating. But
Yeah.
this is your third takeaway is as a woman, learn to ask for what you want and what you need. I am very interested to hear your thoughts on this topic.
Yeah, so that one was something I had to really think about also. And we've had some interns who've worked for us, and this is a piece of advice I've learned to give all of them. I think that coming into my business when I started 5 years ago, I was intimidated a little bit. I was, in my late 20s, early 30s, and I was intimidated to really ask people for, I need help. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Because I was more of the attitude, oh, okay, sure. I'll get that done. Oh, okay, sure. I'll just put that on my list to do. Okay, sure. Let me have that also. It was always something. And it's overwhelming to juggle that. And I finally got to the point where whether it was from my wholesale customers, my stores, whom I love and adore, but a lot of them, they do need something or a question answered or whatever the case is right then and there. And they all want it individually right then and there. And I can't balance that and I can't do that. And so I've learned that, I need to, whether it's delegate, whether it's talk to my stores individually of, you know what, I so appreciate you, but I'm doing this with my kids right now. Let me get back to you tomorrow. Whatever the case is, I've learned that I can't do it all. And if I want something or need it, I'm going to have to be more vocal about it because 1, people can't read my mind. And 2, everyone else is really busy as well. And they're going to ask for what they need to fulfill them or to meet their needs. I can't accept and I can't take on everyone else's stuff in addition to mine. So I think it is really important just to learn to do the ask for whatever it is that you want or what you need. And sometimes you get told no, and that's okay. At least you ask. But I think it's important to learn how to do that.
I think it's really interesting that you say as a woman. So do you think that is the nurturer in you to try to take care of other people and make sure that they're taken care of above yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Because I think that, in relationship in general, I think that a lot of us can see that, and this is nothing negative or anything. I think it's just how we're wired and how we're built. I think a lot of men, it's innate to them to be able to do the ask. They don't feel bad about it. It's just, it's innate. But you're right. As a woman, there is that nurturing side of whether it's, I want to take care of this, I want to take care of this person, or I think a lot of it is, I don't want to disappoint whomever, because that's my thing. I don't want to disappoint people or my customers or my family or whatever the case is, my staff, but always putting that pressure on yourself and wearing that yoke all the time, it gets really heavy. And then you end up not doing any of it well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that is a really critical thing for anyone, but really especially a woman to learn how to do.
So I think it's very important that we hear that, but we also couple it with this next. And we talk about nurturing. And I think this goes perfectly with what you're saying. You've got to learn how to ask what you want and what you need. But the one thing I like that you're saying is, hey, there's more to that now. So we know how to do that. Now you say, show your employees and those around you that you value them. And how do you do that in your business?
You're right. I've learned to, like, for my employees, for example, I have learned to do the ask from them, whether it's, hey, I need you to get this done today or tomorrow. I know that you're going to be working late hours. I'm super sorry about that. I acknowledge that, but I need it done, right? Or whatever the case is. I can do that ask now. In turn, my team who works with me, they've been here from from like day one. I have day one employees. We are a tight-knit, close group of people. And I think it's because I show each of them value. I honor them by, I listen to what they have to say. I respect their comments, their feedback, whatever it is. I'm respectful to them. And they know that when I do the ask, or that I ask a lot of them, sure, I'm going to, hey, why don't you guys have this day off? Whatever the case is. It may be random acts of kindness that I do, or it may be words of affirmation. Whatever the case is, they're acknowledged and they know that they have value with me personally and within the business setting. And I've had people come in and like evaluate and look at our business and stuff, and everyone has gone away with the comment of, your team is tight, and we are. But I really believe it's because I've done my very best to show each of them how much I appreciate them and value them. Like I said, by different things. Like one year I gave my screen printer, my lead screen printer, he'd worked such long hours making sure we got our collegiate season done. He hadn't taken off any time. He'd worked weekends, just gone crazy above and beyond. And at the time, this was a big thing for me. I bought him and his family a trip to Disney World, all expenses paid, for their spring break, and gave it to them at our Christmas dinner together. I invited his kids, and I let them open it up as a family, and they were shocked and just floored, right? And
we're shocked and floored. We're looking at each other like, oh my gosh.
Well, but I say that, and I say that because that was something I had to like really put money back for. I had planned it months in advance. I put money back for it. It wasn't something like I could go and like just write a big old check for, but I had to really think about it and plan it out to be able to do that for him. But I wanted to, and he knew that, but I wanted to, because I wanted to show him my appreciation and acknowledge that he took so much time away from his family to do what he needed to do for our business.
Right. And you're not telling everybody out there to go and buy somebody that works hard a trip to Disney World, but that is something that him and his family are never going to forget.
And like I said, and it's different things. Like I said, whether it's words of affirmation, because that's something that he needs a lot of times, like just today and every day. I know with him, I need to tell him, you know what, Sean, you're doing a great job and I appreciate you. That, just acknowledging those words for him are sometimes more than what I could buy him. And I think, so, just having that with the people around you is so important. And with that, whether that's your spouse, your kids, your friends, whatever, just investing in those around you, whether it's time, whatever it is, it's such an important thing,
Learn their love language.
You learn their love language for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to cue the Bob Marley music right now. Every little thing is gonna be all right. Takeaway number 5. Takeaway number 5. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, it is. And so that has become, we all laugh about it now. That's become the absolute mantra of our office. Because, there's lots of days that we all look at each other and we're like, what in the world are we doing? And we've done this wrong 10 times. This is not going how we planned it was going to go. This came up. That's been thrown in. This machine's down. That person's sick. Whatever the case. And it just doesn't go the way we envisioned it. And, I think kind of going back to what we were first talking about at the beginning, the bank didn't extend the loan like you think it will, or the order didn't come in like you hoped it would, or you didn't pick up this many customers in whatever quarter like you needed to do. All of it is a lot all the time. And we here at our office, we've just gotten to the point of, okay, let's sit back for just a second before we really overreact, because at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. Because at the end of the day, whatever stress, and the stress may be big, and you know, I'm not discounting that. The stress may be really big, and it may look insurmountable, but you can still go home and lay your head down at night, and they're, I hope, not going to come and arrest you and take you to jail. And
we can only hope.
we can hope, and whatever the case is, because in the event, because lots of small business doesn't work, lots of big business doesn't work. In the event your dream, your idea, your whatever doesn't end up working like you thought it was going to be, if you have to close your doors, if you have to regroup and do something else, at least you tried, you did your best, and it's going to be okay. Sometimes going to be okay is, you know, my pride's a little bit hurt. Sometimes going to be okay is, you know, I'm going to have to file for bankruptcy to get out of this mess. Whatever the case is, that is going to cut. You're going to be okay.
Yeah, it's scary to think about, but at the same time, you know what? Sometimes I think about is, heck, if I can work this hard, I can go get another job if I need to.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Exactly right. I mean, I would be an incredible employee for someone down the street. Like, if I had to, I could go do that. Yeah. So
and you would never want to do that. You would never want to do that. But at the same time, if you had to, man, you could be the best employee that they've ever had.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I could do it. But yeah. And so, but that's the thing. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be okay, whatever happens. Yeah.
That's great. Well, we really appreciate you sharing your key takeaways. And I want to go over these real quick one more time. So quit comparing yourself, your business to others. There's always stuff to do. As a woman, learn to ask for what you want and what you need. Show your employees and those around you that you value them, and it's going to be okay. Exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark, underline, heart.
That's it. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Those are my key takeaways. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, thanks again for being on today. We want to make sure that everyone subscribes and gives us a review on what you thought about Jazmine's conversation with us today. Don't forget, if you are looking for insurance quotes that don't sting, try BriteBee.com, where insurance quotes don't sting. You're at the right place. Click Get a Quote, and you will find qualified insurance agents of your choice, your control, and you will get exactly what you're looking for. Guys, we really appreciate it. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time.